Setting the stage for finals. Best of 7. You have Starburst, who's yet to lose a game here today, by the way. They have just steamrolled the competition versus Sayonara, a team that has always gotten to this point, but still has been able to get over the hump. So let's go ahead and take a look at the bracket as we get set. Sayonara 3-2 over Crush Soda, Starburst 3-0 over Destiny Bond, and now there can only be one champion here today. And as we talk about best of 7 and some of the rules here for the finals, it is so important to keep in mind that every game matters so much. Nothing really changes here as far as the higher seed choosing the mode, lower seed will choose the stage. You've got some more stages that you can choose from, and you have your game modes. Stages can only be played once, but 9, you talk about it, the importance of game 1.
Yes, I mean, you don't need a better case study than that last set. On the modes that they were supposed to win on, Sayonara won. On the modes that they were supposed to win on, Crush Soda won. The difference in the two is that by winning the very first game, Sayonara, should it have gone to a game 5, knew that they were going to have the opportunity to set up for the very last 2 games their best modes. Then being able to choose either Splat Zones or Clan Blitz for that last one meant that no matter what map they went to, they were at least going to get to play to their strengths, and they were rewarded greatly.
So far, we've seen action on Eeltail Alley, Undertow Spillway, Brine Springs, Inkblot Art Academy, and Manta Maria a handful of times. So we kind of see some of the favorites right now. So far, it's looking like it might be Splat Zones again on Brine Springs, and this tends to be a very popular map mode for a variety of reasons here, Milana.
I think it's just, you know, you can just kind of have at it in the middle of the map. It's just kind of like a mosh pit a little bit. So people just jump in and they fight. And I think with a comp like a double splash, a sloshing machine, it's just really easy to do.
And that's what they're playing for, a golden Judd and Lil Judd statue, as you see right there. We also have prizes for silver and bronze, but only one team can take home the golden Judd and Lil Judd. And that is something that, if you're streaming 9, I mean, I'm putting that right next to me every single time just to let everybody know that, yeah, we got it done here at the North American Championships.
Say, I mean, champions forever at that point, right? Nobody can take away from you at that point. Teams disband, metas change, but champions are forever. And these two teams, again, have been duking it out for so long over multiple games. Starburst saying where they think they're going to finish in this tournament, and Sayonara fists in the air in brazen defiance.
Can Sayonara knock off Starburst, a team that is yet to lose a match in North American competition? You talk about dominance, or is it going to be Starburst that once again lets everybody know it's Starburst, then everyone else? Let's get set for our first game of the finals. Best of 7, Splat Zones, Brine Springs. You have Starburst in the magenta, and in the green, Sayonara, as they take to the turf for the first time here in the finals. 9, what do we got here, my friend?
Well, if there was ever a map that Q was going to go back to it, here we are again. Brine Springs breaking out the E-leader, and Ice going to be switching over to the Flings a Roller here. Ice told me last night you were going to see one of 3 weapons. It was either going to be the custom Jet Squelcher, the Splash-O-Matic, or this weapon right here. Hey, folks, missiles are still plenty strong on Splat Zones.
Sayonara takes the early lead, but right back at it is Starburst as they have a 4-1 advantage, Milana.
They do, and Brand, and you know, Brand is not letting up. These players are really making it difficult for Q to set up in her perch, because you know, the sloshing machine is able to send their shots above and beyond, and even using that fizzy bomb to maintain space.
That was a huge pickup by Biscuit against Leafy there, and now you've got a Booyah Bomb ready to go and a sizable initial push, and they're going to gain control once again, dropping down in the crab. Sayonara trying to move forward. They got a couple of members there of Starburst, but not enough to take the zone, 9.
No, not enough. They finally have a bit of control here. Ice opted to stay back a little further and not try to capitalize. That's one disadvantage that the Flings a Roller has. If that was Q or a Charger there, the players who would move forward to attack with Crab would not be safe. Instead, Ice moves back. They do give up a bit of control, but they know good and well, eventually they're going to be able to push back in.
Yeah, Brandon Biscuit teaming up right there to take control, and again, the zone in the hands of Starburst at this moment. Let's check out .Q in the back, trying to hang out, looking for a clear shot at this point. But look how far back the team for Sayonara is retreated at this moment here, Milana.
Ooh, and that was a really wild. Oh my God!
What a shot by .Q.
Oh, .Q is really showing her expertise expertise or extraordinarity with that E-leader. And you know, that is going to give Sayonara a lot of space and just ability to hold on to that zone for just a little bit longer.
Oh, you better back up. Q clearing some real estate here. Now it's a matter of Sayonara with a bit of a push here in 9. They're letting the specials fly. Here comes a Booyah Bomb. What do we got here?
Oh my gosh, that was incredible. The placement of that wave breaker to protect Leafy. Leafy goes up, Sun jumps in at the players who were firing at Leafy. They're all still up in great positions to not only attack, but affect the zone. This is the lead. The sloshing machines are traded out. Keep an eye on the top of the screen, folks. If the crabs go in favor of Sayonara, right here as Sun has one, this could be the game.
Sayonara wrestles an Infinity Stone from Thanos. They've got the lead right now, 14-point difference. Still a lot of time left, though. Can Starburst recapture the lead? They've got the zone and a penalty they have to fight through right now. Just a little bit more time and timeout before they can start scoring. You got over 2 minutes left here. Brand being very patient, Milana, at this moment.
And you know, like we said, patience is key, being able to work with your team, but unfortunately Leafy just knows where you are, and Leafy is able to get those picks. And this is just a battle for the end in the middle of this map right here.
Wavebreaker has been huge so far, 9, for Sayonara, both offensively and defensively, but at this point, the zone back in the hands of Starburst.
Yeah, and you see Leafy, a player there who would love to fight until the end of time, jumping back out, knowing that that Booyah Bomb is an important asset for them neutralizing the zone. It's going to be tossed there. They're throwing it at the backside of the zone to try to let other people move in. Even sees Brand. They really need to deal with this zone right now, and no Brand too mobile. Sun is there in the zone, but all that time it gave Sayonara to build up their, Starburst to build up their own specials here. A contest at the zone. The lead is swapped, and now suddenly it's Sayonara, only moments away from losing this.
How about Starburst able to hold on to the zone? You saw the Booyah Bomb go out of control. Starburst going to try and take game 1, and they do. So once again, Starburst making you play for every second, and Milana, it felt like Sayonara had the Booyah Bomb that could have quickly captured the zone and just bought them some more time with the penalty. But the strategy to go behind didn't yield the result they were looking for.
They didn't, and you know, had they gotten a pick or two on that, that might have changed the flow of the game, but unfortunately, you know, Brand being there, waiting for Leafy unable to get that pick on Brand was also big in terms of Starburst's favor, 9?
Yeah, and I'll even add on to that too. The throw of the Booyah Bomb there at the very end, opting to go to the back left side of the zone. When you do that, you're looking for one of two things. You're either throwing it at a special that is being started up there, or you're banking on the opponent retreating into it. If you take 2 people out, that's the end of the game. But if Leafy could throw that again, maybe at the backside of the zone, a little more support, I think it sort of got away from them in that scenario. How many members of Starburst were still around the zone at that point? That's why we say the thinnest of margins. That's what you've got to overcome to beat this dominant team.
It takes a near flawless performance to try and take a game from Starburst. So they take a 1-0 lead, they get that very important first game, and so now they will pick the mode that is next, and it'll be Sayonara choosing the stage. And if you're Sayonara, though, Milana, you got to feel confident because you feel like, okay, we were just maybe one decision maybe we take back away from possibly taking that one from Starburst. We're not that far away from it right now.
I feel like that's just been the attitude of Sayonara for a majority of their time on these stages. You know, that they have practiced and they have made better decisions. So I look forward to seeing them make even quicker, even more anti-Starburst decisions.
Yeah. So Starburst up 1-0. It's going to be Tower Control, Hagglefish Market, 9. Thoughts on this one?
Well, I made the joke earlier that if there was one stage everybody would play every game on, it would be Hagglefish Market. And, you know, this tower control setup, I think, epitomizes the design of Splatoon 3 tower control, which is that there are so many avenues as you are riding the tower to attack those precious spots that the defending team needs to build up specials. Because, look, we know at this level you can't simply make a hero play at the tower. You've got to coordinate some specials. And if there's no room to do so, as there really isn't on this, it means it's snowball push after snowball push, big scoring all around. And when big scores come, the oohs and ahs shortly follow.
Well, let's hope so, because as we're getting set for game 2, a reminder, best of 7 here in the finals. And for Starburst, it really feels like it's just a matter of holding your water, playing consistent here, Milana, because you know other teams have to rise up to the occasion for every second.
They certainly do. And 9, what do we see about these loadouts?
Well, it's the double-double on one side, and Sun has gone back to the T-Tech. Not something that I had penciled in for him here, but, you know, there's a lot to be said, again, about Tri-Strike being able to clear the tower from a distance. Even a crab has to move. It absolutely shreds it, but as I say it, Sun, the first member to go down, 2 go down, and Starburst maybe a little angry that that last game was so close. Look at him go.
Yeah, you see Starburst got that neon yellow, and you've got Sayonara in the purple, and already Starburst claiming that first checkpoint. They are there. They've got a crab ready to go. Bagel holding down the fort as they push their way through that checkpoint. Early lead, and you see 3 members. I don't think anybody's gone down for them yet, Milana.
I don't think so either. And you know, Sayonara is really being pushed into that corner. Bagel with that crab, using those lob shots to try to make space, and now ice on the crab. It really is going to be a mighty difficult task for them to get back.
They do not clear that second checkpoint. That was huge, and so the triple ink strike helping out with that. 3-3 on the map, and let's just see if Sayonara can finally get their footing. It feels like they were really knocked on the back heel early on, 9.
They were indeed, and Leafy again not moving forward to attack, simply throwing something out. Let's scout a little bit and get a little information. My shooters will be behind me shortly to take up some of this turf. I don't need to concern myself with that either. We're finally back into the middle of map, and we can play some Splatoon.
You see the Booyah Bomb on hold. We'll throw it up against the wall. It doesn't really do a ton of damage there at that moment, but you've got the tower in middle. 3-3 on the map, so it's anybody's tower to take here. As we continue to look at Sayonara, they're trying to get a little bit more turf in mid. At this point, here's Bagel under fire. Bagel moving to the right, trying to move forward with a couple of burst bombs. Bagel going to provide a little bit of help, and you see a lot more turf coverage here in mid right now going the way of Starburst, Milana.
Yeah, we really want to make sure that we cover that area in mid, that we have space to move, and we do see a crab battle between Q and Ice, and unfortunately Ice goes down, but Q also goes down because we see Biscuit covering for Ice, and with 3 down, but there's 3 down on the side of Starburst, and causing, Brand to jump back also.
Here's a chance for Sayonara to get through that first checkpoint. You've got all 4 members on the stage, though, for Starburst. We'll see if they can apply some pressure. But here we go, getting through checkpoint number 1, and that's a big obstacle already for Sayonara out of the way here, 9.
Yeah, great job here, and Sun actually is sitting on it. Wait, that's another one there. I think the Booyah Bomb caught one. Sun's got to get on this tower quickly, and it looks like Biscuit was there on the other side. I knew somebody was waiting there. There was a moment there where I wasn't certain if Sun was swimming up the wall or if he'd actually gotten taken down.
Another quick pickup against Fuzzy.
Listen, there had to be a call out here. You know Biscuit's still here. Is Biscuit going to get a third? That crab is mighty weak.
Oh, Biscuit couldn't get the crab in time, but they did what they had to, and they sent them packing. So now it's a 19-point lead. Just over 2 minutes left here, but it feels like control of this entire game so far has gone the way of Starburst as they now are getting set for a push, Milana.
They are certainly getting set for that push. They are using that crab tank to kind of sit on that tower and make space, and Sayonara is kind of being backed into a corner with 2 down and 2 coming from respawn, 9.
Yeah, they did such a great job there. Again, immediately moving off of that, it was a bit of a hero play from Biscuit to do all of this here, but all they need is one hero play to completely gain control of everything in the flow of the game. That checkpoint is down here. They're going to fire away, but getting that checkpoint all the way down to 29, they are in great position. And look at this. Sayonara has to fire everywhere right now. How slow they are getting back to mid because they have no idea where they're at. There was one. Brand's going to take that trade and be A-okay with that.
Yeah, Sun obviously still around, but Brand gets the trade to slow down the push of Sayonara. Sayonara with about 1:10 left. They've got the tower right in their way. However, they don't have the numbers, Milana. 2-4 on the map, and you know that Starburst is just building specials, getting ready for this defensive stand.
And they're making this delayed wipe happen from Sayonara, which makes it very difficult for Sayonara to make those pushes back because they don't have those numbers advantage.
Here's Biscuit in the crab. Moving forward, helping that tower continue to push. They're trying to get to the final checkpoint, trying to create even more distance between them and Sayonara. And how about the teamwork? They are just tactical here, 9, as they continue to get the wipeout.
I mean, a wipeout, just a few more seconds here. They know exactly where Leafy and Fuzzy are going to come from. Actually, they get both of them. Hold on a minute. I'm stunned that they took them out.
Hold on. You still got a match here.
The situation is still not great. Don't get me wrong here, but I thought the game was about to end right there. So credit them holding on now. You must absolutely play perfectly. Anybody that goes down is going to break this with 2 of them already going down. It's the 2 sloshing machines. They're unfortunately going to have to use this crab to stabilize the situation, jump everybody back in, and fight through a mountain of specials.
You see a couple of members of Starburst just huddle in the corner. Can Q get the pick? Q gets the pick, moving forward. Tower still around. You have a Booyah Bomb, though, is going to put an end to that one as Starburst picks up game number 2, Milana.
That was just, it really was just the brand of Starburst that whole match. They were able to back up when they wanted to back up, when they needed to back up. They were able to push forward when they knew they had their specials ready.
So 2-0 advantage for Starburst, and 9, again, it's just, you have to be able to withstand wave after wave after wave, and if you have a misstep or make a mistake, Starburst will make you punish. That is what championship teams do. And what you're seeing now is just they're starting to get more of those crucial trades, some more of those one-on-ones. They're winning those situations. That's putting so much pressure on the opposition.
Well, the difficult thing for Sayonara in that game is I believe there was some meat left on the bone in the big push that they had about halfway through the game. Again, if they get the lead out of that, the entire back half of the game is so different. So again, going down there to Biscuit in that spot, they had thrown specials all over the place. They were pretty certain they knew where Biscuit was, or at least where one of the machines was. One was down. But again, you just lost track of where one player was, and that one player punished and broke open the game.
And it's amazing what that can do sometimes. So Starburst, their strength is everybody is a strong player for the most part. You leave one on the stage, they'll certainly make things pay. Well, we had a lot of fun right there. Let's go ahead and send it back to Zach for more information. A little bit of a breakdown of what we've seen from the first 2 games in the finals. Zach?
Well, thanks everybody again on the caster desk. Let's take a look over at what we have to go over this time. We want to highlight .Q yet again. They're on that charger roll. Now, if we pause here for a second, we see the Flingza roller being brought in here, I believe, by Ice. That's going to allow for displacement, which is super important when you're going against a charger, especially one with so much range like the E-Leader has. Now, if we play again, and we see them go back, they're able to pick up a really nice splat onto the crab. And if we pause, that's what's super important about a charger in a meta like this one, is you can get some great splats onto crab tanks where your teammates would not be able to. So let's play again. Not only that, but they're able to pick up the second one there, which is great progress for their team, allowing them to start capping this zone yet again. Now, moving on to the next clip that we see here, they're able to take out the wave breaker that was there with the Booyah Bomb. Bagel is now going to be sharking on top of the box here and pops crab. They're able to build up that crab in that time and push back the members of Sayonara. They're all the way back in this line, this area over here. They have to come all the way down that ramp in order to get back to the zone, and it's just not enough time. So with that many folks down, they have 2 down up here. They're not able to get anybody back in time. Now, moving on to game number 2, I wanted to pause and highlight something real quick. So you're going to see one here, Booyah Bombs being layered in and of themselves. They're going to be put right where Sayonara are spawning. There's Fuzzy coming in through there, and there also is Leafy down in the bottom. We see the other 2 members up top over here. Now, if we play the clip, we're going to see Sayonara, specifically Sun over here, build up that triple ink strike and not opt to throw it right here where the tower is, but they're going to throw it behind the play. And that's going to allow them to focus up and force the members of Starburst, almost like a funnel, to funnel into this area over here. And that way, they're able to get those picks that they need. So a couple great plays early on. Starburst looking dominant. Let's see if it maintains that pace of play in our remaining games.
Thank you, Zach. As we get set for game 3 here of our finals, it'll be Rainmaker on Undertow Spillway. So Milana, you look at this, and this is another interesting stage and mode combination where if you get the sense Undertow Spillway was chosen, Sayonara is thinking there's something there for them.
You know, it can really run away from you, like every Rainmaker match, but especially on Undertow Spillway, because as you start to push left, you might, catch your opponents off guard. Maybe that's something that they were looking for. Maybe it's not so likely with a team like Starburst, but you never know.
It'll be fascinating, of course, but Starburst with this 2-0 lead. And for Sayonara, 9, anything that you're seeing as far as any potential adjustments, or is it just a matter of Starburst is getting more of those moments and taking advantage of the team play just a little bit better?
At some point, you simply have to execute at a higher level, and Sayonara has always played very close, a very similar brand to what Starburst is able to do. It's just those small moments they have to find a way to pull through.
Here we go, game 3, Starburst 2-0 lead, and let's get going with Rainmaker and Undertow Spillway. Anything you see differently as far as what they're bringing to the table here, Nine?
Well, it's Brand going right back to the Tri-Slosher Nouveau, and Sayonara has to be pretty familiar with this composition because it's exactly what Crush Soda brought to fight them earlier here, and already it's starting to look almost like the beginning of that last game did as well. Pushing forward here, they did shift more people to the left, but almost just as quick. They lose that first checkpoint, and with these tacticalers, they might lose a whole lot more.
Impressive start here by Starburst. They get to the first checkpoint. They have no intentions of slowing down. This could be a quick knockout. No, finally stopped by Sayonara, but you've got 3-on-1. This could be over just like that, and how about it?
Whoa!
Starburst almost getting the dunk.
I mean, 1 point left here, and it's not yet done. Hold on a minute. Are they going to jump in and try to do it? Everybody throwing everything at it. It does look like Starburst is going to grab it again to try to at least keep it here, melt some clock off. And again, bank on eventually, surely somebody on Sayonara is going to have a misstep. Maybe just like that one, that was dead to rights. Leafy could have made that play. Instead, it's going to be another player that has to do it. Ice is going to grab it again. Once again,
blocked in midair as they try to go in for the dunk.
I'm going to breathe here. Milana, what's going on?
We see Biscuit still hiding out there, trying to make this push happen, and you know, it still could happen. This is such a precarious position they had to take the Rainmaker out, so I'm really glad that they did.
Yeah, the Rainmaker is off the rim at this point, and so you got 3:30 left, but at this point, Sayonara needs the knockout in order to get the win. And that has just really completely changed the complexion of this game here, Nine, if you're Starburst.
It really does, but I mean, they've continued to opt to attack again over and over. It's 2 minutes into the game right now. Biscuit is still over here. They've called it out, but that might be too little too late here. You're not going to see many slashing machines do it like Biscuit. Come on, get another. Why not?
Biscuit with the double splat. Booyah bomb for a little bit more protection, just waiting for Bagel to get there.
Moving up further and further. Biscuit again up at the top. They're throwing all sorts of subs. They're simply trying to keep themselves in the game. Finally a wipeout. His son, the final squid, standing on the map there. Absolute pandemonium on the board.
So Sun able to stay alive, keep the game going, but so far we have yet to see a lick of offense from Sayonara here, Milana, and this is just sheer dominance from Starburst on display.
It really, I'm a little at a loss of words because they timed down the match. Half of the timer has gone, and Sayonara just hasn't been able to make a push at all.
Rainmaker in possession of Starburst here, and they're going to make another push. Tacticoolers out, so they are ready to roll here. See the Tri-Slosher moving forward, trying to make a little bit of ground, covering up some turf, coming on the backside for a flank here. Nine, what's the thought process for Starburst if you're trying to dunk this thing home?
I mean, if they don't know where we're attacking from, they can't possibly defend it, surely. And when they have tacticalers, they can swap sides almost on a whim because of how quickly they are moving here. And again, Milana brought it up. Forget most of the game being gone and not having made a push here. They haven't even really gotten back to mid since the start of this game. This is one of the most dominant games of Splatoon you'll see that lasts this long.
Fuzzy gets the trade, though, so that'll certainly help out the cause, but it's 2-1 on the map. We'll see if that sloshing machine from Starburst can do anything here to get this victory, but right now it's just Sayonara that's just trying to keep them away from the knockout here, Milana, and they're just sitting up top using all of these sub-weapons as best as they can.
This is such a difficult place for Sayonara to be. The pressure that Starburst is having on Sayonara is immense. I cannot state enough how tough it is to get yourself out of this hole.
4-2 Sayonara. They're just holding strong, but under a minute left. You said it before, Nine. They haven't even really gotten back to mid, so at this point, you're just going to be stalling this thing out if you're Starburst and picking up your third win.
Yeah, Fuzzy here is opting to just sit and try to hold a little bit of mid, trusting that the team will be able to stop that, but now might have to rotate back, and that probably means that somebody broke through, or at least the call out was made. No, it's not, and look at that. They all had to go back there to attend any threat. Bagel's back, Bran is back, Biscuit's about to be back, and Ice is jumping in as well. Bran fights 2, takes out 2, and with just 20 seconds left, the Rainmaker is probably going to end up resetting, but there's nobody there to receive it for Sayonara.
Almost a foregone conclusion at this point, and it's just a matter of whether or not Starburst wants to play defense or hold on to the Rainmaker to close things out. 6 seconds left. Starburst trying to pick up this 3rd win and take a commanding lead in the finals. We'll see how it goes, and that is Starburst, folks, putting on one of the most impressive displays you will see as they win Game 3 and take a 3-0 lead, Milana.
You know, this is why they are the legends of Rainmaker. They know exactly how to play it. They know exactly where to move the Rainmaker, when to move it, and how best to counteract people coming back to try to take the Rainmaker from them.
So that means we will have Clam Blitz to play, and it's just a matter of where, and that'll be at the selection of Sayonara, and I imagine that you're gonna be picking Eeltail Alley here if you are Sayonara, if you want to just give yourself some chance to avoid getting swept and try and get back into these finals. But we said coming in, Starburst were the favorites for a reason, 9. We are seeing it firsthand. They have yet to drop a game here today amongst the 4 top teams in North America.
And what's stunning is all 3 of these games, they've gotten better. That first game, it almost got away from them. They had to make a couple plays at the very end. The second game, they were in control. There was one time that Biscuit had to be the hero to slow down a push, but they were in control for most of it. And that game, I mean, Milana and I are getting tongue-tied and marble-mouthed here because you just don't see that level of dominance over the course of an entire game.
Yeah.
Yes, teams can get knockouts in the first 30 seconds. That's not suffocating dominance for 5 minutes.
Now the question is, can anybody take a game off of Starburst? And if Sayonara is going to do it, the table has been set. Clam Blitz, Eeltail Alley. We saw how dominant Sayonara was against Crush Soda here, Milana. It feels like you got to be able to step up and be your best at your best level if you're going to hope to try and get back into this one.
You know, they're really going to have to rely on that resilience that they have. You know, they have set the story. They want to make it so that their ending is coming out on top. They're going to have to make it happen here.
Starburst will try to get the sweep. 4-0. If so, it'll be one of the most dominant championship performances we have ever seen at this level 9. In fact, you really couldn't be more dominant than what we saw. The fact they went 3-0 in semifinals and a chance now to go 4-0 in finals. Clam Blitz, Eeltail Alley. If you are Starburst, what are you thinking here? Because you know Sayonara is so good at this stage and mode.
Saying it doesn't matter who lines up on those other 4 chairs right now. From their mind, the way that they play the game does not change. And again, they run a very similar comp, so they don't even have to think too hard about it. They're simply going to go in and try it. Potentially the final game of the tournament, folks. Clam Blitz, Eeltail Alley.
1 game away for Starburst if they want to claim the Golden Judd and Lil Judd. Standing in front of them is Sayonara on their best stage and mode. We'll see if they can hold out. If not, it'll be one of the most dominant sweeps here. What are we seeing from these loadouts, 9?
Much the same. It's going to be the double-double coming out from Starburst, and on the other side, Sayonara going with what brought him here. They have the double slashing machine, the double splash-o-matic, the slashing machine, and the Tentatek splatter shot. Sometimes you don't want to overthink it.
Early power claim, but down goes Fuzzy, and a double pick here by Bagel, and that'll open the door for Starburst right out the gate, Milana.
They really do have a clear path straight into their base, but you know, they really. One thing you have to consider when you're playing clams is that you need to have the clams to be able to make a nice push.
You see, 8-8 is the possession. Each team does have a power clam at the moment. Here is .Q making their way across the bridge, trying to get a little bit closer. Going to try and be flanked by the right, getting a little bit of help there with those burst bombs. Gets into the crab. Now, still a little too far, though. Burst bomb trying to keep things at bay. You're trying to find that opening here, 9, in which you can surge forward and just try to get that first score.
And it's so frustrating. You can see right there, we all threw our hands up at the start of the game when Bagel's Crab was able to find 2 people there with just the very tip of those hitboxes. That time, it's a similar position on a crab tank from Sayonara, and all the members of Starburst get away. Those are the small, minute differences that have been the change between these 2 teams in the set.
It's what makes Starburst so good. It's just those inches that make a difference here. And so far, this has been thrilling when it comes to the score here, Milana. Just 100-100, no team either getting into the clam basket quite yet. A wipeout, though.
Oh, no.
for Sayonara, they are going to march forward and get some massive points here, Milana.
They really are. They've been collecting these clams for the whole match, down the score to 47 already, and they are sitting pretty on that street with the crab tank and looking for more clams to make this push happen. Who knows, this could be a repeat of what we saw before.
Sayonara trying to burn the brooms and avoid the sweep here. They have a sizable lead, and that is a nice push, 9:38. To get it all the way down to that on your opening push.
Yeah, very good. And Q is even able to escape at this point and is reasonably close to a crab tank. How much space did they have to give up to get those points, I think, is what's going to matter. It does appear that they've stabilized here, so there's no immediate counter threat. And Bran actually going down there to a well-placed bomb from Sun means that, again, no major threat right now. Yeah, there's 2 crabs and 2 power clams, but look at how far they are back. Sayonara has stabilized in this position.
They really have, because you see how much they're retreating here, Milana, and you can retreat and you can fire, but you have to advance forward at some point, and this is the first time in 3.5 games that we've seen Sayonara in control.
Yes, it is. But you know, making space and backing up sometimes is the smart move to do, that you need that space in order to move forward. Take a step back to take 2 steps forward.
Just over 2 minutes left here. It has been all Sayonara in the early going. Bagel, though, able to bust open the basket, finally get on the board. Can they get the crab a little bit closer? Oh, huge pickup right there. And that'll allow Starburst to threaten. They're 1 point away. Starburst has now taken the lead with under 2 minutes left. And how about it? Once again, 9 to some of those critical 1v1 wins going the way of Starburst.
Yeah, I think they finally picked up on Leafy attacking crabs there. Every time a crab comes out, Leafy has been up there to deal with it. You saw that there was actually a protector of the crab on that side. Once Leafy went down, there was no one on the left to go, and all of this is a result of that fight being ended so cleanly. They have the resources to go at this again, and hold on, keep an eye out on the count on the top. They might have enough to end this right now. If they go back into the middle, they just need 4 more regular clams.
Starburst trying to close this out with a knockout. A couple more. Starburst just a few clams away. It's a wipeout. And Starburst closes the door. They sweep, and they are your champions of the Splatoon 3 North American Championship 2023. Impressive, dominant, undeniable Starburst sweeping their way through the entire tournament, Milana, and fitting that they do it against a very talented team in Sayonara on their best stage. They're able to go in there and get the knockout.
It is a little bit like insult to injury, but you know what? They just are just a dominant team, like you said, like we've mentioned so many times before. They haven't dropped a set to any North American team, and that hasn't changed today.
9, it's so impressive, and I think that match was a microcosm of what makes Starburst so good. You saw so many instances, and you pointed it out, where one situation, a couple of your teammates go down. For Starburst, they stay alive. It's just, that's the difference. All those microtransactions throughout an entire game that Starburst will win the majority of, and there they are, standing around the Golden Judd and Lil Judd, and a moment for them, for all the games and matches and hours of practice, to have this opportunity here at PAX East to stand in front of this crowd that has been fantastic all day and be crowned champions. Well-deserved. Starburst, once again, your champions of the Splatoon 3 North American Championship 2023. And 9, it's a moment that they'll certainly like, and the community, once again, just so impressed with what they do.
I mean, at the very beginning of this, you tossed it to me and asked me to talk a little bit about Starburst dominance. And I gave you the stats and the numbers, but those don't do it justice, truly. The performance here is by far and away the most dominant we have ever seen a team at this level. You said earlier, it's Starburst and everybody else. And again, we love sensationalizing this and making it fun for everybody. But folks, the games tell the tale. The best counter picks, the best competition. It's not enough. Go 2-0 in Turf War. How about 3-0 in your best of 5? How about 4-0 in your best of 7? It just doesn't get any better. They are a level above everybody right now.
And there's 2 ways to look at this, Milana. Some folks might say, oh, we're a little discouraged. They're right up there. But there is such a player base and so many talented players that are up and coming. If anything, it's going to make a lot of these other teams very hungry, because who's going to be that team that can knock off Starburst someday and start to make a name for themselves.
I mean, we saw even just Crush Soda here, bringing new players into a stage like this. Players like Goss, players like Wave who haven't been here before. So having players like that hungry for more, I think will be awesome to see.
As we said, Nine, we have done a lot of these tournaments, and we've seen some very talented teams and players. We have never seen something like this where a team just steamrolled through everybody and did it so quickly, so decisively as well too. And now it really makes an interesting case as far as what can they do as competition continues to expand. But you have to be very impressed with everything we saw from Starburst.
Absolutely, and all the credit and kudos in the world to them. They came here prepared, and they have higher sights. North America is not enough for them. They want to be the best team to ever play this game, and you know, with performances like today, they are putting themselves in that conversation.
It'll certainly make waves, but a big shout out, of course, to Crush Soda, Sayonara, Destiny Bond, Milana. It's great to get them here. They are some teams that have battled through this as well, too. And listen, everybody's going to keep raising their game up. Everybody's going to get better. I think it's safe to say that this is the deepest talent pool we've seen in Splatoon competitive play in a long time also.
Yeah, no, and like I said before, there are so many new players coming into Splatoon 3. There's so many new talents. And I'm really looking forward to seeing what kind of new teams, new power heads in the scene will rise up from this.
Certainly going to be a lot of fun, but that's going to do it for our coverage here of the Splatoon 3 North American Championship 2023 tournament. Big thanks to Zach. He was awesome on the telestrator. Milana, Nine, you're fantastic. Our wonderful production crew behind the scenes working hard each and every day to get this set up. And of course, the crowd here and the fans watching, we appreciate you tuning in. Don't forget, keep it checked in to Nintendo Versus for more Nintendo competitive action. From all of us here, that's goodbye from PAX East, your champions. Once again, Starburst getting it done. Happy Sunday from PAX East in Boston. I hope you are ready to rev your engines. Here comes the blue shell, though. That
He's good, but they took the
PR Matthew Jones.
Almost they
Gets
got
hit by the red shell.
Mushroom dodge right there.
Oh, he did it! Avoids the blue shell and gets a gift-wrapped cloud of a shortcut. Kevo steals the lead again. Oh my God! Trying to get to the finish line. Kevo! Let's give it up for Kevo, your champion of the Mario Kart 8 Deluxe Championship Cup 2023. And good afternoon once again, PAX East here in Boston as we get set for the Splatoon 3 North American Championship 2023 tournament.
And at least hold on.
Crab pinching him right there. Huge
Another direct onto the crab. Leafy going absolutely wild right now. That was the rock, but how's about that?
Triple splat. See the crab tank dropping down now. They have a convoy. They're just moving this tower. 5 seconds left. Can they get the other zone? Hanging on for their tournament lives. Sayonara does a knock down the stretch to take game 5.